This is a good thing to understand about trading, okay? Trading is a game of probabilities. So we have to use probabilistic thinking in our decision-making process. Trading is a game of probabilities. It's a game of if this and that. So when you have a level, only two things, maybe three, can happen as price approaches your level. Okay? Price can either use your level as support, and then maybe you want to get into a long, or it's going to use that level, lose that level, and then use it as resistance. And so you might want to say, okay, I'm now going to short a breakdown. Now, to the retarded person, they're going to go, oh, it's up or down. This guy just said it's going to go up or down. No shit, Sherlock. Okay, and just remember this. They've got a lot going on. They've got problems at home. They have to go through life being that stupid, that retarded. Like, imagine having to go through life being that level of intelligence. It'd be very difficult. So the last thing they need is you to just pile on them. But for someone who understands that trading is a game of probabilities and it requires probabilistic thinking and decision making, you know that each outcome is going to be determined by like a 1 or a 0. If this happens, I do 1. This happens, I do 0. Now, obviously, there's going to be instances where there's multiple scenarios, and maybe there's 3, maybe there's 4. But it doesn't change the fact that you got to lay out the probabilities, and then you try and determine which one is the most likely, and then mitigate your risk accordingly for if you're right, how much can you profit based on what you're risking? If you're wrong, how much do you have to protect yourself so you don't get blown up being wrong? Using that same unbelievable analogy here, okay, we have a very clear point of breakdown here, okay? So this is the range low. We lost this area. That was where price broke through. We're now bearish below that. So if you're saying I have a bunch of spot and I don't know what to do, is the bottom in here? Are we going to go back to all-time high? Are we going to go down to here? You don't know what to do, and you're like freaking out. So and let's say you fucked up. You were supposed to sell here and you didn't, okay? Like me. I didn't sell nearly as much as I should have when we broke structure, but it is what it is, okay? So what are the probabilities here? Well, if we come up to here, okay, so let's assume that the next leg of price brings us up to here on this weekly candle. You now have a couple of options. You can say, okay, option 1, this is the most logical lower high spot. I need to de-risk. Option 2 is you fucking just hold. You say, you know what? I'm holding. We're going to break through and we're going to go higher. Those are really your two main options here. You either assume that, hey, like, you know what? Fuck it. Maybe it makes another low here and then it's going to break. And I'm so glad I didn't sell any of my spot. Or this is the lower high and it's going to go down here. So if you're going to hodl, what do you do here? Probably nothing, right? But what is the risk of each of these situations? Well, if you're going to hodl, you run the risk of this rejecting. And now you could have sold your spot, at 92K, and think of how high altcoins will go if we get up there. But now instead, we're rolling back over, and now you don't know what to do. Do I sell now? Is it going to make a lower high? Like, what if it does this, and then you sell, and then it does this? Like, what do you do? So this is an option. But to me, de-risking of the probabilities is the better move, and here's why. If we are going to put in a lower high here, realistically, based on the chart, this is the most likely area for it to happen. I'm going to get a better exit than if I would have puked the bottom. Altcoins are going to bounce a bunch. Bitcoin's up above 90K, so I'm now only, if this ends up being a lower high and we nuke, I've now managed to get out of my Bitcoin only 10 to 15% off the high. That's pretty good. And the best part about de-risking here, whether it be by selling spot or by shorting, is that you have a clear level to where to get back involved. So it gives you more optionality. Because with holding, if you hold, at what point was holding a wrong idea? It goes here. Was it wrong? What if it goes like this? Is it still wrong? Okay, now it was clearly wrong, right? Do you cut at any of these points? How are you determining? Oh, well, maybe it was going to bounce here. And it bounces a little and then it just nukes through. Whereas if you de-risk here, the worst case scenario is that price goes up. That's great, right? Because then you've de-risked, price trades higher. Guess what? You can now get back in. you can rebuy. So yes, you missed out. You sold spot at 92 and you had to buy back at 96. But now the good news is if we get above here, we're likely going to make an all-time high. So we're going much higher. Yeah, you missed out on a little bit of the move, but you completely mitigated the risk of this thing being a lower high. So that's what I mean by probabilistic thinking. And this is how you need to think of every single trade setup. When price comes to my area of interest, what are the potential scenarios that can happen? And then lay out your decision making exactly like this. Okay, well, if I do this, this happens. If I do this, then that happens. It's if this, then that. And so I really like the idea of de-risking here because it gives me that optionality. If I'm wrong and we go higher, that means the bull run is not over and we're going to make a new all-time high. That's awesome. That means that there's going to be long opportunities. I can buy back my spot because I still think we go higher. All sorts of doors open up, and I've only given up a small percentage of the move just to protect myself. While it's just hoping that this breaks, you run the risk of it not breaking, and now you had a chance to sell at 90, and all of a sudden we're back in the 70s, and you're like, what the fuck? OPM says, so we're probably going up or down. Exactly. That entire rant summarized so succinctly. Okay, does that make sense? So yes, whoever asked that question, there is my answer.